dear students, welcome back to DAB online teaching classes. And it's me, Pasang, once again to teach you the classification of sentence. And this is for my 10th and 9th students. So today we are going to deal with the types and how these sentences are formed. Okay, previously we had already talked about the basic introductory part. But today we are going to dig into deeper and we will learn more about the sentence and how it forms, okay, and what are the process it has gone through to form the entire sentence. So today we are going to deal with the classification of sentences. But before moving towards it, we will know what actually classifications are. As you all have learned more about classification in each and every subject of your academic session. But today, I will give you a brief example of what is classification because it is the necessary thing which you need to know, right? So let's see. For an example, if I give you 15 balls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, if I give you 15 balls, okay, and I told you to separate this ball according to their features, what will you do when I say that? You will definitely think that what type of features should I look on these types of ball to separate it in these these three boxes, sorry. Definitely first we will notice what is the color of the ball and what is the size of the ball and what is the shape of the ball, okay. So here we have 15 balls, okay, and the feature which we find here is the color, okay. There are no balls which are similar in color. So for an example, if we have 4 balls white, 3 balls black, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 balls, and 8 balls we have red. Then what we will do, we will put all this colored ball in different boxes, indicating that in this box we have white ball, in this box we have black ball, in this box we have red ball. Okay. And according to that, we will put all these balls inside it. For example, white will get into this basket indicating white. 3 balls which are black will put in the box which is indicating black, and these 8 other balls will put in the box which is indicating red. And what we did here, we actually see the features of the ball, which colors they are, okay, and we have put them in the box, okay, separately, okay. So we have classified these all balls in a one group, and these all balls in one group, and these all balls in a one group. So what we did here, we had classified, okay, according to the basis of the color of the balls. So just similar to that, okay, even in sentence, we have classified the different types of sentence according to the feature, according to the verb, according to the basis of their construction, according to the thoughts which they developed, okay. So there are plenty ways, okay, because of which the sentence have been classified. So we will go a little deeper into the classification of sentences and we will see how the sentences are classified. So before moving forward, let me tell you the 3 heads of sentences according to which the sentences have been classified. So here we have number A, according to the thought the sentence expresses. The entire writing section is based on thought. आपके विचार, आपके सोच पे निर्धारित है ये सारी चीजें. Okay, so in number A, okay, it falls on the category of those types of sentences which we use mostly in writing. For an example, the types of sentences such as interrogative sentences, imperative sentences, optative sentences, exclamatory sentences, and assertive declarative sentences. This all falls under the category of number A according to the thought the sentence expresses. Okay, is that clear? Okay, so according to the construction of the sentences, this will be the number B of the following classification. So we have discussed A and now we will move to the B. So as you all know, that sentence built up according to the structure. Okay, according to the structure. For an example, subject, verb, object, this all comes together when they get joined and form the sentences. But these are really basics. These all are very basics. But when we move to a little bit advanced level, we will start learning about forming a complex sentences or compound sentences. Okay, and those types of construction, sentence construction, it's not about words which is making a sentences. It is about sentences and sentences adding together to make another complex type of sentences. Okay, and those types of sentences comes in the category of number B. Now we will see the third number of the classification of the sentence, which says according to the way the thought is developed. Sometimes in a sentence we add another thought, okay, in a same sentence. More than 2 or 3 thoughts also can be added with the help of and then. Okay, this is just one example of doing so. But in number C category, okay, there is some types of sentence, okay, which we are maybe unaware, but now you are going to get aware about those types of sentences. And those types of sentence which falls under the category of C is your loose sentences, periodic sentences, and balanced sentences. So number C category is sometimes while teaching in this area out here, I found out that most of the students are unaware of these types of sentence. Okay, but don't worry, this time I am going to teach you about the types of sentences which falls under the C category. So as we have discussed about the classification of the sentence, okay, and how those sentences are classified into 3 parts and what are the function of those 3 categories. So now we are going to look at each and every category. Okay, total we have 3 categories in which the whole sentence has been classified. So we are going to read the first classified category of the sentences. Okay, so here we have the sentences may be classified in 5 types according to the thought they express. Did you notice something here? The thought they express, okay, is the first category, okay, which we had taught. In those 3 categories, this is the first category. And each type may be further subdivided into 2, affirmative and negative, which you already know. What do you understand by affirmative? Affirmative is nothing but a positive. Okay, and negative, we all know that it is negative. And let's talk about the types of the sentence which falls under the category of the classification number 1. Okay, so first one we have assertive sentences. So assertive sentences or declarative sentences we can say. These sentences are actually a statement, okay, which denote a fact or an opinion. Okay, it can be used either like both in affirmation also, in negation also. Okay, now we will see this interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence basically are those types of sentence, okay, which usually makes question. What it makes question, and these are the basics sentences. Okay, we start learning this type of sentences when we reach class 7 and sometime even in 6 also. So I don't think I have to repeat these things again and again. But still, for the sake of your memory, I'm doing it. Third, imperative sentences. And what do you know about imperative sentences? We all know that imperative sentences are those types of sentences which ask or which denote request, command, or maybe sometimes request, or maybe sometimes permission as well. So now we have exclamatory. What do you understand by exclamatory sentences? Exclamatory sentences are those types of sentences which express sudden and very strong feelings. For an example, feeling of bereaved. Okay. Oh, sorry. Bereaved is actually a feeling which we feel at the time when your loved ones passed away. Okay. So those types of feelings, grief and extreme happiness. Okay. Or extreme excitement. Okay. Those types of feeling can be explained or you can write down with the help of exclamatory sentences. Now let's see these optative sentences. What optative sentences are? Optative sentences are those types of sentences which express a very strong wish, desire and blessing as well. So whenever you find a sentence which is indicating some kind of desire, wish or a blessing, those types of sentences are considered as optative sentences. Okay, so we are going to discuss now the classification number 2, which is the classification according to their construction. And it has 3 types, okay, according to their construction. Okay. For example, we have number 1 simple sentences, number 2 complex sentences, and number 3 compound sentences. So according to the construction, as I told you before only, that the formation of complex sentence and compound sentence happen when we join 2 sentences together. Okay. So when we join 2 sentences together, it is not only forming another sentence, but it is doing another thing as well, which is also your construction. It is building sentences. Okay. So that's why these all 3 types of sentence falls in the category of number 2, which is the classification according to their construction. Okay. So I think I had already explained you about simple sentence, complex sentence and compound sentence. Now we will look at the number 3 category of the classification of sentences. Okay, so we are going to deal with the 3rd classification of the sentences, okay, which is classified according to the way the thought is developed. Okay, and in this classification there are 3 types: loose sentences, balanced sentences and periodic sentences. So now we are going to look each and every types of sentences one by one. First we will discuss the loose sentences. The loose sentences, the main idea comes first. What do I mean by that? The main idea. Actually, the main idea means the purpose of saying or purpose of asking something. Okay, it comes on the beginning. Okay, for example, here we have a sentence. John was quite well when I saw him. Okay. So here the main idea is already given in the first sentence. Okay. John was quite well. Okay. And secondary idea is here when I saw him, which is not really important. What is important in this sentence is John was quite well, which is the major. Okay. Now, another way of finding out the loose sentences is by understanding the context, okay, and looking after the connecting point such as and or then. Okay. The sentence are loosely strung together by and or then. Okay. What does it mean? It mean, for an example, take this sentence as an example. I was walking on the road. Then suddenly from nowhere a bull came in. Then I jumped out of that place in front of the road. Then suddenly one car came and struck me from behind. So this entire sentence which I talk right now is joined with and then. Okay. So if you want to exaggerate or intensify your sentence, then what you need to do is you need to add and or then in it as much as you want. What it will do? It will help you to intensify or exaggerate the sentence which you are writing. And this is how the loose sentence will help you do so. Now we will be dealing with the second type of the third classification of sentences. Now we are going to look at this periodic sentences. Actually, periodic sentences is the opposite of loose sentence. Why I said so? It is because the loose sentence, and if we keep loose sentence and periodic sentence in a comparison, the only difference which we get is that the main idea in the loose sentence comes in the beginning, but in the periodic sentence, the main idea comes on the last. So that is the drastic difference between loose and periodic, which is actually worked as a short trick to remember. Okay, if somebody asks you what is periodic sentences, and if somebody asks you what is loose sentences, by keeping the small thing in your mind that loose sentences and periodic sentences work vice versa, totally opposite. So you don't need to remember each and everything related to loose sentences and periodic sentences. For example, we have example here. When I saw John, he was quite well. But in the beginning, when I taught you the loose sentence, what you formed is, you formed these things in the beginning. He was quite well from the beginning. But here, in this sentence, you formed this sentence in the end. Okay? So that is the difference between loose sentence and periodic sentence. And periodic sentence work totally opposite to loose sentence. Now we are going to deal with the third part of classification of sentences. Okay, in this we have our balanced sentences. So what do you understand by the balanced sentences? So as I always used to say, okay, when I find something, a clue giving word, okay. For example, the balanced sentence, okay, the term balance itself is a clue-giving word. The answer is already lying in the realm of the word balance. Okay, so balance, what do you understand by the balance? We all know to maintain a balance, okay, that is what we all understand about balance, right? So, in a sentence, okay, what we need to understand, for an example, there are two types of sentence added together, okay. One is independent and one is dependent, okay. And one has more weightage, another doesn't have more weightage, okay. One has more importance, another doesn't have more importance, okay. One has major idea, another doesn't have major idea, okay. Then there will be no balance in the sentences. But when we talk about a balanced sentences, we need to make a complete balance in both the sides. It's just similar to seesaw, which you guys used to play, I guess, right? Now, let's see some examples here of balanced sentences. In number one, we have the more, the merrier. How it is a balanced sentence? Maybe you have some kind of question arising in your mind. But let me explain it. The more, the merrier. It means the much you have, the much happier you will be. Even me too, the more I will have, then more happier I will be. And that's a fact, that's a human nature, right? So the more happier, the more I have, the more happier I will be. That is what actually means, that is what actually this word is trying to explain. The more, the merrier. Okay, that's why there is a balance in this sentence. Okay, so now we have number 2. The more you read, the more you learn. And that's so true. You guys also need to follow this set of rules. The more you read, the more you learn. Okay, and I don't have to give you any explanation because you also can notice that there is a complete balance in this sentence. The more you read. Okay, the more you read. Okay, it's a sentence which has a complete balance. And in other words, also we have the more you learn. Okay, both have same number of words in it. Okay, and same types of saying also. Okay, so according to that, we will consider the second one also a balanced sentences. Okay, students, so we have completed this chapter, classification of sentences. And if you have any problem related to this topic, classification of sentences, okay, then you can contact me on my number. And my number is like 91028 15436. So let's see you soon with another lesson. Thank you for watching. Bye.